I guess we are continuing on the story that many people have been wondering about, the whole Draco minion sprites.
Yes.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, so there was an event that apparently that happened many months ago or a year ago. Either of the one. Basically, what happened is that a event that happened behind the scenes, and that didn't go well. Two YouTubers, Jar and BoxOvFox, decided to do a collab video about it. I understand that Jar has his own portion, but we're going to be focusing on BoxOvFox of this video that we're going to be doing here. So we're going to get started on the whole BoxOvFox and Jar's video, right? Which is basically the one that started it all. Let's get started on the first thing. The section in BoxOvFox that Draco didn't like Sonic 3 saying anything about Blaze in a jest. Draco wouldn't like that. Now, I kind of find this very interesting to pick up first, because this is the whole Sonic 3 hates Blaze statement that everybody float around and assume that this is true. Would you like to explain that narrative, Ruth?
The thing is about the whole Blaze situation is that it is true. I crack some jokes here and there that might sound like I hate Blaze, but I don't. And I only do it to the people who I think are understanding of my jokes about Blaze. So with Draco, it was the same case. It was never about making him feel uncomfortable. It was never about making him feel bad, even though I know he likes Blaze the cat. But here's the ticket. I don't always talk badly about Blaze to him. It could be just sometimes, like when the moment calls for it. It's not like I do it randomly or constantly or consistently or, either way. So this whole thing about Draco doesn't like me talking about Blaze in a bad way is something I wasn't aware of, because he never established it or informed me about this. And like I said, it's not like I talked badly about Blaze all the time. It could be sometimes, and the times I do that, I always assume that he took it as a joke. And even though he doesn't like it, I understand he doesn't like it because he likes Blaze, but it could be in a way that, I don't like what you're saying, but I know you don't mean it, so it's fine. Kind of like that mindset. But it sounds like the narrative is that Draco was too afraid to tell me or something like that, which I find it kind of odd, because the thing is, we don't always talk about Blaze, okay? It could be something about his interest or something about private stuff. It was never about Blaze the cat. So my point is, since I don't mention about Blaze constantly, I don't crack jokes that makes him uncomfortable constantly either. So I don't understand why it is such a big deal about me cracking jokes about Blaze that might seem, I guess, brutal or something. But either way, this is something that shouldn't be considered a big deal, because it's not supposed to be a big deal. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I see what you mean. That what you're saying here is that when you talk about Blaze and you say, let's just say a joke that it happens to be very edgy, but it's a joke, right? The question is that if that were true, why did Draco kind of hide it from you? Because it kind of seems to me that he kind of just hold it within himself of him having this narrative in his head where you have this dislike of Blaze, even though you don't, because you treat it as a joke. I mean, I see the possibilities of that, but in reality, it's just no more than a joke. So in that particular way, things are just treated in a joke. Has Draco have ever brought this up to you? Like, has he ever been concerned about it?
No, not even one time. This is what I said. Like, he never ever established it or mentioned this to me. He never did. And not only was it just about the jokes about Blaze, but it could also be something we both discussed about Blaze's character. We both see it differently. We both see it in a different perspective. But that doesn't mean I hate her just because I say my different point of view of how I view Blaze as a character. I mean, I thought he understood that I like actually Blaze the character. She's not my most favorite, but I like her either way. I have no hate against her, and the jokes are just to have it's just for fun and giggles. But how was I supposed to know he didn't like it if he never told me? So no, he never told me.
I see. So even though that the joke, the one that everybody kind of just took it a bit a little bit seriously, which is the one that I am going to slit her throat while she sleeps, or something like that, correct? Basically, slitting a fictional character's throat while they're sleeping, like that. That could be an edgy joke, but I understand why people kind of seem to take it too seriously. But in the end, it's really just a joke. I mean, like, in your intentions, it's probably just jealousy because, you know, people kind of just pair Blaze with Silver, correct?
Well, yes, it is that, but again, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. I mean, Draco feels the exact same way about the couple Silver x Blaze. When I have shown him pictures of Silver and Blaze for fun, not to make him mad, not to trigger him or anything, just to mess around. I'm the kind of person who likes to mess around people I like, people I'm friends with. He himself has been acting jealous when he sees Silver x Blaze, so I don't see what is the biggest difference with me when it comes to my jealousy with Silver and Blaze. With Draco, there's no difference whatsoever. The only difference is that he's not as harsh about Silver, but it's the same concept. So I don't see why is it such a big deal. I mean, I said to Draco privately, I should kill that edgy joke, kill Blaze in her sleep, because, as I said, I thought he understood it's supposed to be a joke, not supposed to be taken seriously, not supposed to be taking, she literally wants to kill Blaze the cat in her sleep, even though she's not real. You see how dumb it sounds like?
Okay, so I can see that why, because here is the next thing that Box also said in the video, that
whenever Sonic 93 would say something like Blaze should be dead, he would say he didn't like it. Her response was always, "Oh, can't you take a joke?" Meanwhile, if he said anything bad about Silver, she would blow a gasket, screaming over how he wasn't a fan and this and that, and God forbid your friend doesn't like your favorite character.
First of all, that never happened. Draco has never ever said anything about Silver that made me upset. Secondly, Draco has admitted it to me. He actually used to hate Silver because of his OTP Tails x Blaze. And he even admitted it, thanks to me, he sees Silver in a positive manner. If that was true, I would have been like, how dare you hate Silver the Hedgehog? How can you not see the good things in him? I understand the hate of a fictional character because of a pairing. I used to do that myself. So, unless BoxOvFox has proof that this happened, this is a very vague and false statement. There's no evidence to back that up. I mean, I can back up about Draco said that I am the reason he sees Silver in a positive light. I can literally prove that, but BoxOvFox can't prove that, if Draco says something bad about Silver, I would go crazy. I mean, that never happened. He has never ever said anything about Silver in that way that would make me upset. I mean, why would he to begin with? The only thing he has done is being jealous when he sees Silver x Blaze pictures, but I don't take that seriously because I know what it's like. I don't be like, don't you dare say anything bad about Silver. I'd be a hypocrite if I would do that because I know what it's like to be jealous of a fictional character. So that statement is false. I don't know where she got it from, or maybe Draco told her, but either way, that statement isn't true.
I guess we'll just leave it on to the people who, is hearing that, and they come up with their own conclusions. Hopefully they can have full context on what we're talking about. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is, this is the part where it pretty much it's the whole screaming aspect, right? So this is the whole main thing of why people pretty much call you either the two things, an abusive woman or a toxic person. So we're going to be getting into that, the whole screaming section. So in the video,
Mene and Draco were clearly shaken, and as soon as they come in, they tell me Sonic 93 screamed at them. They couldn't get a word in, even Sprite was heated, and apparently even more so than her. Why did they scream? Because apparently they can't talk to strangers about how she dislikes Blaze.
Let's try to decode this right here, is that here about the screaming aspect. So tell me in your perspective what happened in there.
What happened was that I wasn't even aware of, I was sort of aware that Draco and Mene were talking to BoxOvFox without me knowing it, without telling me.
hold on. I think in believe in context that there were a couple of people, a private group apparently. So the people who were in this group were BoxOvFox, Mene, Draco, and another person named Nitro. Apparently down the line, Sprite was also added into the call, but we'll get to that. So apparently this is the section where they were talking about basically just random stuff until they got into the topic of you. So in that topic is that Draco started bringing up the whole Blaze thing. Then Mene eventually added Sprite into the chat. Sprite pretty much heard about it, and then apparently he immediately left and then went to go on and tell you about it. So
there you go.
So the thing is that what did Sprite tell you during that time?
The only thing I can remember, since that was a while ago, he was very upset, and I was like, "What's up? What's going on?" He said, "Draco and Mene betrayed us." He was really upset. I had to calm him down at first, and then I don't remember how it happened, but Draco and Mene decided to have or maybe superspite. I don't remember how it happened, but we all eventually got in the same VC together. I didn't like what was happening, but I was trying to remain myself calm and just seeing what's going on. And Draco the whole time was very quiet. He didn't say a word. He was quiet like a mouse. And I established to both of them, I don't like what's happening, but I would like to know what's going on. And Mene out of the blue said, "We were talking about your hate on Blaze." And that made me snap, because I established to both of them that I don't hate Blaze the cat. I don't know why they still think I hate Blaze the cat, even though I said numerous of times I don't hate her. So it made me upset. Because it wasn't something I expect. I didn't expect him to say that. I would maybe expect something, I don't know, a different topic he would say, not Blaze, because I already established to both of them I don't hate Blaze. So it made me upset about the fact that, okay, despite me telling them numerous of times I don't hate Blaze the cat, they still hate Blaze the cat. So I say, I don't hate Blaze the cat, raising my voice, I don't hate Blaze the cat, you should have known better, something like that. And I didn't mean to be upset or screaming or whatever people think. It was just something that came because this whole time I've been trying to, it's so tiring to explain myself constantly, only for it to be thrown out the window. And as I said, I wasn't like this in the beginning. You say BoxOvFox thinks I scream for no reason, which is not true. I try to be calm at first, and I even calmed superspite down before even talking to Draco and Mene. But the whole Blaze thing, it's like, oh my god, how many times do I have to say it? I don't hate her. Why are you talking about a subject I have clarified to both of you guys to be false? So that's why I snapped. That's why I was upset.
Okay. So aside from them being very silent like a mouse, it says here that Sprite was more heated than you. This was due to, him being very upset. It's also that you told me once that you did scream at them, but then eventually down the line you calm yourself down because you wanted to get information on what is really going on at that current moment. However, Sprite was the one who was screaming the most because he was very upset. I don't see the reason why he was upset with it, but I'm guessing that it was because of the whole betrayal thing that he brought up. Now, I really don't see any form of betrayal for talking about the whole Blaze thing, because that's not betrayal. That's just pretty much just speaking out of your mind. Betrayal is something that's more like releasing information that you ain't supposed to be telling to anybody. Like, let's just say the next details of your next video, or in a way where, let's just say telling them your vulnerabilities, so those type of things, the circumstances that has been given to them. However, this this kind of seems a bit out of control right here, because people pretty much just took this in and blown out in proportion where, you know, they call you as an abusive woman, but like, I understand that you scream at them. And that's something that you don't agree, but it's just something that just happened for a reason. And people say like, oh, she screams at people for no reason. It's like, no, everything happens for a reason. Nothing just falls out of the sky. So I would like to hear your thoughts about that.
About the whole screaming thing. Yes, this is why I'm telling you what happened. I'm not saying it's okay to scream. Who in the right mind is saying it's okay to scream at someone, especially for no reason? It's not. The thing is, I'm not saying it as an excuse, but it's more like a explanation of the whole screaming thing. When you've been alone this whole time with the drama, everybody goes against you. It's hard to feel, who are you supposed to trust? Who can you trust enough for them to believe you and, you know, understand you and be by your side? I'm not saying blindly, of course, but you get what I mean. And then this whole Blaze thing, it's like, it was just out of the blue. And when you say superspite felt betrayed by it, it's not about they're talking about Blaze, that he felt it was a betrayal. I mean, he didn't give me details either, so it's kind of a lack of information why he said that. Mm-hmm. But as I understood, he said it that they betrayed us is that they been behind the scenes without telling any of us, or at least not me, that they've been talking to BoxOvFox about something that I need to know so I can say this is not true or this is true, etc., etc. And if there was something else that they don't know about, that they believe they believe BoxOvFox over me, that'd be one thing. But they believe in something I already told them this is not true. But like I said, I'm never gonna say it's okay to scream. I mean, why would I be okay with screaming at somebody? Especially, how do I put this? It's never okay to scream for no reason, as everyone puts it. Obviously, but here's the thing. There was a reason to it. But instead of understanding or seeing my perspective, it's all about, oh my God, Simon thinks abusive, Simon thinks toxic for yelling for no reason, because she's crazy. There's no context in why people view it this way. Seriously, it doesn't. But to make it short, no, of course I'm not okay with the whole screaming thing. It's just dumb. It's just a reaction I felt over what Mene said.
What gave them the idea that you apparently had this title of manipulation? People are calling you a manipulator because you were telling Draco and Mene, or maybe Sprite, don't know about Sprite, but Draco and Mene to be telling them not to speak to other people, and they need your consent in order to do that. Would you mind explaining me and explain the audience that if this is something that is just ludicrous?
The thing is, they never asked for my permission or my consent to talk to them either way. Even so, that makes the narrative to be false, because they never asked me permission to talk to anybody. Not Jar, not BoxOvFox, not Dumbsville, not whoever. No, but they never asked for my permission. So that's just proving that is false. I never established you need to ask for my permission. The only thing I want to know is, what have they said about me? Not don't talk to them or let me know if you talk to them. Not in a way that I need to give them permission whether to talk to them or not. I mean, why? No, of course not. Mm-hmm. It was more that let me know what they've said about me, because this is behind the scenes and I'm not a part of it. So I would like to know, okay, what has it been said? And the thing is about when they've been talking to others, you know, all three of them, Draco, Mene, and superspite, they've been doing things without my awareness. It's not about me telling them not to do this or that. It's about me knowing what's going on. When when superspite established the whole BoxOvFox thing, like I said, I kind of knew they were talking to BoxOvFox, but I didn't know the details of it. Meaning they've been just going around without letting me know. I'm not saying don't do this or that. All I'm saying is let me know so I can know what people will be saying about me, so I can correct them if it's right or wrong, you know. But it is definitely false, because even if I did say don't do this or do that, they do it anyway. So it's not like I'm preventing them to talk to others. They have done it anyway, and I never said don't talk to Box or Jar or whatever. That has never happened.
Okay, I see. So it's really like kind of the wording of how people pretty much just assume that, you know, you're telling them like what to do and telling them not to speak to other ranters or commentators. So what really happened is that you were not being informed that they are talking about something that, you know, that's clearly related to you, and you want to you just want to know what they were just talking about. So that is just pretty simple right there. For the majority, for people to assume that you're not giving them permission to talk to any of them or any of the ranters or commentators seems a bit far-fetched, because it's like in other different wording, I guess that could have been worded probably much more clearly or straightforward. But in the end, it's really like on that what you just said, that you are not being informed that what is being said about you. And I can see that because you have the right to know to like what's really being said behind your back. I mean, like, you don't have to know, because most of the time, like, you say a lot that, you know, what's being said is basically what everybody else has said, right? In short, that you were just not being informed by the people who you thought that they were your companions about the project. But of course, after me speaking to Draco and Mene about it, they pretty much just left the project as soon as you did your Alduin video. So it's been stated by Mene in my interview with him.
Not to mention, the second that Alduin video and I saw the hate, I was like, oh, well, time to bounce. Because basically, you might not have known this, because basically Sprite was kind of labeled as the big gigantic white knight. But basically, me and Draco, we were like, yeah, we're not talking about this. Like, Sprite was talking about the drama and you know, making rants about it. While me and Draco were just like, alright, Draco, it's time for us to just live our quiet lives and pretend like this doesn't exist and we're not a part of it.
Yeah, so the statement of that people might feel is that I've been dragging them, 3 of them, into this drama or whatever, is that, well, the only thing I did was inform. The only thing they were a major part of was the melody video. Not even Supersprite was that much a part of the project, at least with the videos right after that. You know, right after the melody video. They were not part of the Alduin. They were not part of the Dumbsville one. They were only part of the Melody Sugar Plum video. So, you know, so Mene has a point. Like, he wasn't, you know, Mene has made it clear. I don't remember, but I think kind of made it clear he wasn't available, which is totally fine. He has his own life. I'm not gonna forcefully drag him into something when he's not available. So he wasn't available, and that was totally fine. I was just doing my own thing. And with Draco, like, he was the least a part in the part of the drama. He was the least person a part of the drama, so he didn't have much contribute. What's it called? Contribution. Yes, did I say it right?
Contribute.
Yes, he didn't have much contribute after the melody video either. So basically, it's like what you stated before to me, is that all 3 of them had no knowledge of the situation, which is true, and therefore I can't really make them be a part of something they're not fully aware of. So Mene has a point, definitely. He's right. Okay.
And speaking of Mene, apparently in the section that in BoxOvFox is telling, is that BoxOvFox said
the admins speak with Mene, and he confirms Exide 93 was using Sprite as a mole, illegally recording calls, cropping screenshots to make them look worse out of context.
You probably have like a big response on this one, because a lot of people assume that you were using Sprite as a form of information, or, you know what, let's just put it to a nicer vanilla way, where he's pretty much just doing all of this for you, would you like to respond to that particular thing? Because apparently a lot of people assume that Sprite's your white knight and, you know, he's doing all this for you. So please tell me this narrative about this.
Well, there's some things they're kind of right about, but not entirely. Obviously, the only thing they're right about is that when superspite cut ties with me, he did say he did the things for me, and I will go my further opinion about that statement. But he did say that when he cut ties with me. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things he did, I guess he did it for me, but it wasn't something I forced him to do. It was something he voluntarily did. I did not ask him to do this or that. You know, a lot of things he did on Discord, I have no knowledge of it. I am not completely, but I'm very unaware of the half of the things he did on Discord. When he said he recorded illegally, that I never asked him to do that. I never asked him to do like 80%, like 99% of the things he has done. And I never even asked him to be my spy or whatever. Everything he did was voluntarily. The videos he did, the videos he did against, as a, for the drama, him being on Discord, all that stuff, everything was on him. I had nothing to do with it. I never told him to do this or that. He did this voluntarily.
Okay. And I can see that, because so far from my experience during the time that this happened is that pretty much I even asked you about Sprite's condition after the 6-hour stream that he got himself into, because he pretty much had a mental breakdown the moment I entered that stream. No, not enter the stream. The moment I pull up that stream. But when I wanted to know if he was okay, I even asked you about it. Is Sprite okay? And then, you said that yes, he is. That kind of shows me and indicates that you weren't even told or aware of what happened until later on. Is like, did you know that Sprite was in a 6-hour live stream? And you told me no, and that kind of says a lot. That means he didn't told you about it. And the other thing is that when he was in Ghosty server recording people without them being aware of it, that is a whole debacle itself, because in Ghosty's narrative he says that Sprite was recording with OBS, while Sprite, however, in the other hand, he told me that he was recording with Audacity. So someone is telling the lie here, but it doesn't matter who is telling the truth. The truth is that what really happened is that he was recording people within the server, period. So that is just a big no-no, and that is something worse than screaming at people. I'm not saying that screaming at people is a good thing, but recording people without letting them know is bad. That's just not wrong. It's just badly wrong. So in that being said, I think Sprite should have really been much more informed by, before doing something like that. And of course, the other thing here that it says cropping screenshots and make them look worse out of context. The only thing that I pretty much can see this is when apparently Sprite was releasing information about Ghosty's IRL. But sadly, unfortunately for Sprite, that Ghosty's information is actually public.
Okay.
So pretty much Sprite was attending to, dox Ghosty about that, because from what I heard is that from Ghosty himself that he was showing pictures of Ghosty's face around people, even though it's no surprise in his server since, again, his face is in public. Everything about Ghosty is in public. It's public information. But for him to attend to do something like that kind of just says a lot. And really, this is why I didn't have any cinch of trust within Sprite. This is why I tell him this in the interview, that I still have doubts about him, and eventually down the line I was right. And this is why you should trust your instincts rather than people's opinions. What is being said. If you can forgive him, that's cool and all. But like for me, he has done too much to the point where I can't forgive you too easily. You have to build it up now.
I see what you mean. It's like it's one thing to forgive if they do it once or like honest mistake. But if it's something they do constantly, to the point it's like a consistent act they have or behavior, then yes, I agree. Then you shouldn't forgive someone or at least trust someone that easily. When someone does it constantly, it's not even about forgiving someone's mistake. It's about, okay, this is something you do wrong consistently, and there's something, and you're not gonna see past that, like you said.
So that's pretty much the only two things that BoxOvFox said in that video. So now that that's over, we pretty much can come into a conclusion on this particular section where, like, what is your overall opinion about Mene, Draco, and Sprite?
Do I have some things to say? And it's nothing like, how to put this in a way I hate them. No, of course not. But I have opinions about the three of them here and there. I guess I can start with Mene first, since there's not much to say about him. Mene is the kind of person who wants to see the good in everything. He wants to see the possibility and all that stuff. And I totally respect that, the mindset. However, he's very inexperienced because since he's so young, and he's even naive. And I'm not saying it to be insulting, I'm just saying it because he lacks a lot of experiences and awareness with situations like this. He's only a teenager, so it may not be easy to understand the full perspective of something, even though it may seem like the majority is saying they're wrong. I'm trying to get at. So I don't hold too much grudge against him. The only thing I don't like is that he just didn't wasn't completely honest with me. Other than that, I don't hold that much against him.
Then what about Draco?
Draco is a little bit different. I'm gonna try to say my opinions without sounding too harsh, but let's just say that Draco is kind of in his own bubble. I'm not saying it to be mean. It's just that the way he how do I put this? The way he is in his own fantasy world is in a way that how do I put this? It's hard for him to be thick-skinned, if that's the right word, to deal with confrontations like this. And he's very overly sensitive. He even admitted to me he is extremely sensitive, and that is not really good if you're supposed to be online and dealing with these kinds of stunts, if that makes sense. And without saying too much, he is extremely sensitive. He's a nice guy, but he is very sensitive. You can't really have a developed relationship with him, like friendship wise. You can't really have a developed friendship with him. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, the last one is your thoughts on Sprite.
Sprite, we had fun together. We had a lot of fun together. I'm not going to say we didn't. However, right, like I told you, I want to establish a little bit when he said I did this for you. I find it to be BS, because the thing is, I don't believe it's entirely true, because if you truly does something for someone, you think for their interest, not for your own gain. So I felt when he said he did this for me, he felt like he did it for his own gain, in a way that he want to make me happy, in a way that he's not thinking what's best for me, more of what will benefit him if he does this or that for me, kind of like that. So that's why I'm just like, no, you did not do it for me, you did it for yourself. So Supersprite is extremely emotional, more emotional than me, believe it or not. People might not believe it, but I've experienced more things with him than people have, so I can no doubt say Supersprite is a very extremely emotional person. He needs to grow up a little bit. I'm not saying in a meaningful manner, I'm just saying it in a way that he needs to mature.
Basically, he needs more progress on maturity.
Yeah. If that's a better way to put it, sure.
Okay, so now that is out of the way, this also kind of brings up, speaking of Sprite, is that, of course, the last conversation you had with him, this is where a person named Malteser Man did a video called Sonnet 3 is an abusive woman. The video is no longer available because it has been deleted or privated. Don't know of the either, but it's not available to watch anymore. So, in that being said, is that apparently it was the last conversation on text that you had with him, which was basically the whole Sprite getting back to Spoctor. So, would you mind telling us that narrative?
Yeah, like, I don't know what that's not true. What superspite felt was that he felt that I was being, I guess, negative, or we're trying to make him feel upset about me telling him, giving a heads up about his outcome with Spoctor. The thing is, the superspite has told me he used to be friends with Spoctor, and then he said things about him that made him sound like the bad guy, you know.
Okay.
So, but then down the line, eventually, he even admitted it to me that he made him sound like the bad guy, and he regrets it. So he wants to make amends with him. He said that he has made a mistake with him, and he wants to make amends with him. And I even told him that is very mature of you. But the thing is, superspite acted way too hopeful in a way. Not that it's not okay to be hopeful, but he acted so hopeful in a way he's not thinking of the consequences, or that it might not work out, or how to put this, that they might not be friends again. Like, to me, it seems like superspite wants to be friends with Spoctor, which I get, but he was acting like they already are friends by the hope he has been showing me about speaking to Spoctor. And I was trying to give him a warning about his video, about Spoctor's video on him. That I was like, be careful how you're gonna, confront Spoctor about this, and I was just gonna give him a heads up. But to my surprise, superspite has told me he already watched it. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, why are you acting everything is cool and all that? It felt like he was kind of blinded by the hope for him to make amends with him. And it wasn't like the worst video, a very brutal video, but it wasn't a way that in the thumbnail he calls superspite dumb, and I'm just thinking, yeah, just be careful about you having hopes up with Spoctor and all that stuff. But it felt like when superspite told me he's already watched it, it felt like he didn't see it as a big deal, or he just saw past the yellow flags, or at least in my eyes, the yellow flags of the things he has said about him in the video. He didn't say anything mean, but he just kind of says things like, you don't know what you're doing. And in one point he's right, but to me, I'm just thinking superspite is capable of standing up to himself and saying he's true intentions and stuff. But instead of doing that, he was just being like, oh yeah, he's right, he didn't. I'm like, okay, hold on a second. Why are you sort of submitting to the video? I mean, I know it might sound, extreme, but I just mean that why are you losing focus? Yeah, why are you losing focus? It felt like he lost focus of the point of him being a part of the drama with me, because he wanted to be friends with Spoctor so badly. So I was just trying to tell him, be careful, what is up? Why are you okay with this? Like, I don't remember everything I said, but superspite took it the wrong way and thought I meant to make him feel down about trying to make amends with Spoctor. And I was trying to tell him that is not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying, be careful. You're acting so hopeful in a way that you're acting like you already make amends with, like you guys are already friends. That's the thing. I was just trying to give him a warning or a heads up, but I even told him, I'm sorry if I was so hardy. Let's talk about this in a VC. That's the last thing I said before, after that heat up argument, or whatever you want to call it. And we did, and I thought we were cool. So that's kind of what happened with the whole Spoctor thing.
Okay. And apparently in the screenshots that I guess people took their time in reading, that within those conversations on those snapshots, that basically what I'm seeing is just two adults basically arguing back and forth. It's not really like an abuse type of way, but to make a video that's saying Sonic 3 is an abusive woman is like quite far-fetched, if you ask me, because that's just basically labeling someone that what they're not. So pretty much that video was pretty much just slandering you by saying that you're an abusive woman, when really if anybody takes their time and, you know, read the screenshots, it's just two adults arguing with a particular subject. So that being said, then it comes into the next thing where you got in a call in a VC with Sprite, correct? After that. So what happened in that call? Because apparently this was the last call you had with him.
Oh, before he cut ties with me? Well, it's a little bit similar with Draco and Mene, except it was a different situation. What happened was that after I deleted my channel and after I was done with the Dumbsville video, all those things, not Dumbsville, I mean superspite, decided to want to talk to me. I kind of felt he was not hiding something from me, but something was off or something. He wanted to speak with me. So I was like, okay, cool. And like Drake, like with Mene, he said something I didn't expect. That was just what the hell kind of moment and BS. You know, what he said was that you should give people a chance to talk to you, or you should talk to Jar. And I'm just thinking, wait a second. You're telling me I should do something when I have established I'm done with the drama? Not only that, but he was the one who made counter argument videos on Jar, you know, with the amethyst thing, and I don't remember the other one, but he did, I think, 1 or 2 videos about it, you know, trying to argue against Jar. So I'm just thinking, okay, you're the one who went against Jar. Well, not went against Jar, but, you know, talking against him. And now you're telling me I should talk to him? That was really odd and BS. Not only that, but when he said I should give people a chance to talk to me, I was like, bro, I've been doing this. That's not the first thing I did after uploading the Aldwin commentary. I literally gave people my Discord so they could talk to me personally and seeing, you know, what's going on, and any questions they have, I could answer them. So I'm just like, dude, this is BS, and you know what? I felt like that. This is BS, you know what? You're telling me I should do something I already done in the beginning when the drama came back again. That was like, okay, what the frick? And if he said like talk to Dumbsville or talk to whoever, you know, it wouldn't be good, but that would make more sense. But Jar, out of all people, it's like, what gives you the idea to think that it's a good idea to talk to Jar when no, I don't trust YouTubers like Jar. What else he said that I can't remember is that he was complaining a little bit about how he said to me, I pushed him to do something. Well, not push him to do something. I don't remember everything, but he was saying something like, you know, I'm not motivated to draw, but you ask me all the time, even though I say I'm not motivated. And I said to him, it was just a joke. I'm not saying this to be pushy or to force you. I'm just saying, like, in an excitement way, in a joking manner. Oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's kind of like that. But then I told him after a while, I left you alone. I haven't said anything for a while because I know you're not motivated. I give you time. I didn't bother you with anymore. And then he said things that I was shocked. I was like, I don't know what to say. I even told I don't know what to say. I was so upset to the point. Someone had to tell me, okay, get off the call with him so I could calm down. It was the same. I was very upset. I'm not gonna say it's the same as the whole Blaze thing, but it was similar. So as everything I can remember, that's what had happened. In summarization, that's what happened.
Okay, so I guess after that, pretty much he just blocked you, and then that's just it. He blocked you. And
I'm sorry.
And I'm guessing after that call, he pretty much just took his time, and then eventually he blocked you, correct?
After we stopped talking, he gave me a long message saying like, I'm sorry, and I don't hate you, and I did this for you, blah blah blah. And then that's what I said. You know, that's what I said. In my opinion about it is that that's the BS. But that's what he said. And I didn't know he blocked me, so I was thinking maybe we should try and talk things out, but I need to calm myself down first. But then I got a notification that superspite left the server. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, does that mean he blocked me? So I checked it. I'm like, oh, he blocked me. That's what happened.
Okay. So I guess that being said, I guess Sprite pretty much just left entirely. I guess in that conclusion, you know, where Sprite has a long way to go, and trust me, I hope that he improves for the better. That is, if he chooses to. But until then, I guess I have no interest of, you know, having conversations with him. But other than the whole comic session, and if he says something that is, you know, off the charts, then I will respond. But we'll just wait and see. So now that the whole Draco, Mene, and Sprite has now passed, now we're going to get into the big topic, which is Amy-chan. So for context, for people who may not know, is that Dumbsville did an interview with Amy-chan, and pretty much he invited her to ask questions that has been given by either him or by the audience. I'm going to read the selective questions to find and read them out to you and give your response to Amy-chan's response to those questions, and then give your thoughts about them. So because you believe that some of the things that are being said were a bit either odd or off the menu, so it seems that she kind of told a bit of lies on your perspective. So we're going to get into that right now. So in one of the questions that I wrote down here, that Dumbsville asked Amy-chan was that, how did you and Ruth break ties? In the response that Amy-chan said is that,
from what I can remember, we were talking and she brought up Melody, I believe. I don't even think she brought up Valak at that point. Like, I think it first started with Melody. Like, if she did, then she didn't talk about him too much, but her main focus was Melody. And she was like, you know, hey, I found this Silver fangirl on DeviantArt, and she said some really stupid things about Silver. And I'm like, okay. And she sent me the link to her comment, you know, where she was saying the things that she didn't like about him, even though she was a fan. And I was looking over it, and, you know, at the time, I did think it was kind of, you know, some of her points were kind of weird, like, kind of, you know, out there, but I still didn't see it as a big deal. So, you know, me and her were just kind of joking about it and stuff like that. You know, it was harmless. But she eventually brought up the idea of making a video about it or something. But I thought it was going to be, like, she was just, you know, having a friendly debate. Like, she was just, you know, disagreeing with it, and she was, you know, just a discussion, pretty much. I mean, she didn't say anything about, oh, I'm going to make this video screaming at somebody because their opinions are different. I didn't know it was going to go to that point. At the time, I thought it was just going to be, like, you know, just a friendly debate, and she was just going to politely disagree with it and move on, and it'd be all good. And then I eventually see this video, and I was horrified. I did not expect her to go that way. So, you know, I watched it, and I was very concerned. Like, I was thinking, oh, God, somebody is going to stumble upon this video, and they're going to think that she's an obsessed Silver fangirl. They're going to think she's crazy. They're going to think that she can't handle different opinions. You know, all this negative stuff. Like, you know, and I really cared about her at the time. And I was like, you know, I don't want people to think that about her, because I know she's not like that. Well, at the time I thought so anyways. But, you know, and, you know, I held off on telling her at first because I was kind of nervous to really say, like, hey, I don't think this was a good idea. I didn't know it was going to be like that, because, you know, I still cared about her at the time, and I didn't want to make myself say, like, hey, you can't do that, don't do that, when it was her channel, and I didn't want to butt in and be a jerk, pretty much. But I was conflicted about it, because I was like, well, if I don't say something, then people are going to attack her for this, or people are going to get the wrong idea about her, you know?
This is what I meant. Amy, this is where the narrative is fake. We were not joking around. We were not joking around. The way I was upset in the Melody video was a similar way I was upset with Amy. I told her how upset I was with Melody's points on Silver, and Amy, she agreed with everything I had to say. Literally, she didn't say anything that it wasn't a big deal or don't be upset about it. She didn't say any of that sort at all. She didn't. She agreed with literally everything I said. She did. So that right there is not true. That is not a true narrative. That's completely false. Because I remember We were not joking around. I was genuinely upset.
Okay. So in Amy-chan's narrative, you two were joking, but in your narrative, you were actually serious about it, and you were going to make a video about it and intend to do a response about this DeviantArt post that Melly Sugarplum posted. The last thing that she thought, that she never thought you were going to be screaming. Now that is pretty really up to you and how you want to respond to that, because I simply don't have words. I like first of all, it's Ruth. You should know this, but tell me your thoughts, Ruth.
Well, there you go, MoonDisc. This is what I mean. Amy and I have been knowing each other before we made the rant videos and stuff. Excuse me. That she's saying, I didn't think she was gonna scream, is just sounding to me. It just sounds excessive and kind of make it sound worse than what it actually is, because as I told you, I was upset in a very similar way to Amy about Melody's points as I was in the video. So I don't know why she's acting so surprised or like, oh my God, I didn't think she would do this. No. And I remember in the interview, she did say that she thought it was going to be a friendly debate. Mm-hmm. But to me, no, it was just me just saying my opinions and thoughts about this. It wasn't about giving a respond to Melody for her to see. That wasn't the intent. I told it. I have even in the private conversation with Amy, I have told Amy I didn't think people were gonna see this as a negative light. The point of the video was only for the people who do pay attention to my content to see my point, not worldwide. If it was worldwide, if I felt it was gonna be that effective, I wouldn't have done the video differently. Absolutely. But since I thought the back of my head that this isn't a big deal, not in a big deal as if I shouldn't be careful, but big deal as if not many people, no one are as attentive to my videos or whatever. Not many people are gonna see it, and not many people are gonna make a big deal out of it. If that in that kind of mindset.
Okay, so you pretty much just did this video because you thought that Melody's response to, or Melody's thoughts about Silver seems a bit odd and strange or stupid or whatever it is. You just wanted to respond to Melody and the other person named Valak, correct? So here, I can actually see where you're coming from, since now that you told me that, the conversation was not in a joking manner, you were actually fully intended to make a video on the subject, and, you expect Amy-chan to at least understand of where you're coming from, with or without her, of course, but like in universal thought, that she should know that, fully aware that you ain't gonna be screaming at this person intentionally just for the shits and giggles. So
yeah. So
pretty much that's pretty much your full intent, that you just wanted to make a response to Valak, but mainly focusing on Melody. And of course, nobody even had a problem with it, not even Melody herself. And there was actually a screenshot of like her pretty much someone telling Melody that someone made a video on her, and she took it as a compliment. The only person who actually took this in a very different way was, of course, Alduin. That's pretty much how it all started, is because Alduin initiated the entire dilemma. So let's move on to the next question. Now that we got that out of the way, let's move on to the next one. The next question that Dumbsville asked Amy was, does Saw93 have any grudge against her boyfriend, which is Gmod Spartan? Her response to that question.
She 100% does.
Against Gmod Spartan, who I have never spoken to before, by the way.
She's made it clear she hates him.
For what reason? Just for taking you?
When we first got together, like, she was actually cool with it, and like it was all good. Like they didn't talk too much, but they did a few times here and there, and they got along fine. It was fine. Like Gmod even supported our friendship. Like I thought it was all good, but then later on, she started accusing me of like spending more time with him than her, and she was accusing me of replacing her with him. She just, out of nowhere, just started hating him.
That's definitely weird.
when he didn't even do anything to her.
That's definitely weird.
It got... I mentioned our friendship was rocky at this point. Like, around the time I was with him for a while and I got a job and everything, that's when it went really downhill.
That sounds like she's very clingy and protective as well. Like, that's really good as well.
I was gonna say, that gives off vibes of, like, almost like a control freak. She wants everything her way, or or for lack of a better term, it's the fucking highway. Like,
right, like, I constantly had to tell her, look, I'm not going out of my way to spend more time with him than you are. It's just, I don't have as much free time as I used to when we were younger. I can't get enough time to talk to you every day like I used to. But it's not because of him. It has nothing to do with him.
The thing is that I didn't accuse her of of her spending more time with Gmod Spartan. I told her, this is how I feel. I feel that you're doing this. I feel you're doing that. I feel like you're spending more time with her. All those things. I didn't say, this is what you're doing, even though she said something else. And yes, she has said that it is because of her IRL stuff. The problem is, she doesn't say what is happening to her IRL stuff. And what I mean by that is that when she's saying it's because of her work most of the time, but she's been saying it constantly to the point it sounds more like an excuse. And even if it's true, I'm not saying she's lying, but even if it's true, I have seen Amy putting more effort into spending time with Gmod Spartan than me. That's why I say you spend more time with him than me. It's not just something I say to accuse, it's something I've been witnessing myself and been feeling. And she has said that is not true, but I had a hard time believing it because her actions said something else. So it's like, I don't know why she said I hate Gmod Spartan. There's no actual proof of it. She's just accusing. The only thing she can accuse of me hating her boyfriend is because I've been saying this or that, but this is not related to him. This is related to her. Everything I've been saying is related to her actions. Nothing to do with Gmod Spartan. I don't know him. I barely know anything about him. And it is true. I haven't talked so much about him. Not about him. I haven't talked so much to him. Therefore, I can't really make my own opinion what I think of him. The only thing I can think of is he is Amy Chan's boyfriend. But I don't have an outside opinion of him than that. So how can I hate someone I don't know much about?
Okay, so apparently that statement that Amy Chan said that you have a grudge against Gmod Spartan, and her response saying is she 100% does, but now that you're telling me that you don't, because it kind of does make sense a lot, since you can't really hate someone who you don't know very well. I mean, that's just like disliking someone without an apparent reason. Like, I'm not saying, like, people have the right to dislike anything, but for a person like me, I rather give a reason to that rather than no reason. So the other thing that you and Gmod Spartan pretty much didn't talk that much, is this true?
Yes.
Okay, so
it is true.
Okay, so and this is backed up by, of course, the knowledge that you said that you don't know him enough, so you can't really hate him, which makes total sense to me. So now that we got that out of the way, let's move on to the next question, which is the next question that Dumbsville asked Amy was, how long has Ruth's session been with Silver, and were there any signs and red flags noticed early on? In her response,
Well, how long she's, like, when she first started liking him, I don't know the exact time. Like, she liked him before we even met, so it's a very long time. I want to say, like, she started liking him maybe around the time 06 actually came out.
That's wow, that's like, if that were the case, that's like a 14-year-old love, man. 13, 14-year-old
Right, because didn't she say in one of her videos that she's been a Silver fan for over 10 years or something?
I mean, I guess so. Not something to brag about, but, like, I wouldn't surprise me if she did.
Right. So, if I had to take a guess, I'm pretty sure it's around the time 06 actually came out.
Yes,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Right.
And then red flags, actually, yeah. There were some awkward moments here and there.
Oh, awkward moment. Do you mind sharing one or two if you remember them, or if you want to get into them, or is that, like, something that, like, you don't remember?
I remember, like, 2 instances. The first one that comes to mind is, like, we were talking one day, and we were actually doing a video call at the time. So, I can't remember if she brought it up or something, but she was wearing makeup, and something that she said she didn't do very often, but she just felt like wearing some, and I was like, okay. So, we were talking about it, and she actually said to me, "Do you think Silver would like it?"
What? What?
Whoa.
I mean,
he's a fake character. Oh yeah, baby. Let me see your makeup. I'm a fake fictional headshot. What?
I didn't want to be rude, so I played along with it, but this was around the time I was a cringy fangirl myself, and even then I thought it was awkward. Like, I didn't really know how to take that.
That is false. I remember Amy said ever since Sonic 06 came out, like when it actually came out. As I remember her answering Dumbsville's question, it literally sounded like as soon as Sonic 06 came out, that's where I started like Silver, which isn't true. I discovered Silver around the time, but I didn't start liking him around that time. That was like a year later. I didn't know his character or play the game, so I couldn't really have those feelings or that strong opinion about him around the time the game came out, Sonic 06. So that is not true. It's false.
Okay.
It was a year after.
Okay, so it's a bit twisted there. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's continue on that.
I don't understand why she sees it as a red flag because, first of all, she used to be a Sonic fangirl herself.
Yeah.
I've been talking to her millions of times about my love for Silver, and she's done the same thing with her love for Sonic. So I don't know why she sees it as a red flag or something odd.
Yeah, she also said that as well, saying that Amy didn't want it to be rude, since so she played along. She went along with it because she was a cringy fangirl herself, but still felt awkward.
I don't see how that is how she find it odd when she used to like Sonic as well, and how does she see it as a red flag when she used to feel the same way? I don't understand the concept of her feeling is a red flag or odd and being rude. Like, it's like, okay, what would she say? Sonic 93, it's weird you say it that way, even though I know what it's like to be a fangirl myself. I'm sorry, it's just I don't understand why she sees it as a red flag when she knows what it's like to be a fangirl as well. It's not like she doesn't know what it's like to be a fangirl. If you find this to be odd, that'd be one thing, because you don't know what it's like to like a fictional character in that way. But Amy used to do that before she met Gmod Spartan, so I don't understand for the life of me why she sees that as something weird. So I kind of just feel, is she just saying this because she's got a real life relationship? Well, maybe not real life, but online relationship with someone that she finds it odd, and she has forgotten what it's like to be a fangirl all of a sudden?
Well, it says right here in the last one that, but still felt awkward. But if she known to be a cringy fangirl herself, how does this feel awkward to her? And this information was asked by her by Dumbsville, or I don't know if it was Dumbsville or the fans who chose this question, but I think that this is a bit of a private information that shouldn't really be said out there. This seems that this is something that should be really kept to only two people, and doesn't really seem right to, say this information out there. I understand that Amy-chan has the right to say this out there, but I kind of have to question Amy-chan is, why did you say something this private out there? Because it seems that you're pretty much just saying all of this, that you didn't want it to be rude, so you went along with it because you were a cringy fangirl yourself, but still felt awkward. Well, how can you feel awkward about it when you were a cringy fangirl yourself? So that doesn't make any sense. So the point and what I'm trying to say is that you're made of fire, but yet you don't like the heat. It kind of feels that way.
Do you mean that, what do you mean by that? Fire, heat? What are you referring to?
You're made of fire, but you don't like the heat.
Oh, I think I get it. Yeah, that's the thing is, she has the right to answer the question. However, this is totally not respectful to what I thought we had, our friendship. Is that this is something I told with her to her with confidence and gain with trust. And I know people might say, well, you can't say it anymore because you're not friends anymore. Yeah, that's true. But she can still respect our friendship, which she hasn't, because she just said that out there with making it sound weird and worse than what it actually is. And just, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's no respect to the friendship. Even though we're not friends anymore, she could still have the audacity, or, excuse me, I thought she would have the audacity to respect our friendship by not informing that information that is so private.
The point is that saying something like this seems private, and it should really be kept private. It's just something that is now out there, and people just pretty much just made fun of it. Yeah, Dumbsville and Spartan in the interview made fun of the idea of it, you know.
That's not even my concern, to be honest. If they want to make fun of it, that's totally fine. Of course they're gonna make fun of it. They don't like me. They're only making fun of it because Amy informed them something that sounds so bad. That's why they're making fun of it. And you know what? That is fine. I'm not even surprised. It's Amy that I'm more like how to put this delicately. It's Amy. I'm just like, after everything we've been through as friends, you had the audacity to do this to me, you know, in a way that I understand that we're not friends. I understand they have different opinion about me. I get it. However, that doesn't give you the right to just toss our friendship out the window like it meant nothing to you by spreading that private information.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. Now that that's being said, let's move on to the last one, which is apparently this is the biggest one because I took my time on this one. So the last question that Dumbsville asked Amy was, Ruth apparently at one point had an ex. Do you have any details on that? So the first one that she said is that Amy-chan said,
oh boy, yes, kind of. Like, the thing with those two, like, the thing that was going on, like, their whole relationship in general, it was like, it was a completely different rabbit hole compared to this one. Like, there was a lot of bizarre things about it.
And real quick, how long ago was this, so we get a time frame? Do you know, like, what year it was, or, like, how old you were?
I want to say it ended, like, around 10 years ago.
Did it start before you met her, or is that, or?
Yeah, she knew this guy before we even met, so.
All right, so it's years ago then, so that's confirmed.
Yeah, like, it wasn't a guy she knew in real life, it was just another person she knew on DeviantArt.
How, I guess you can continue your story. What do you know what happened between them, or how much you would talk about it? I guess those are the two questions I have to continue that.
Kind of, like, so I don't want to say this guy's name because I don't want people to try tracking him down, because for all I know, he could have completely moved on from this by now and is doing other things in his life, so I'll just keep him anonymous. But I don't know how they met and how they became friends and everything, but it was weird. Like, they were friends and all, but there were times where he was kind of like, he acted kind of uncomfortable, like creepy, I'll just say. They like, one of the major things about him at the time was he was a giant fanboy of Blaze the Cat.
Oh.
Yeah, like I have no idea how he is now about it, but when I witnessed him, he was obsessed with Blaze and he was very perverted towards Blaze.
Oh no.
Oh yikes.
Uh-oh.
That actually explains a few things. Wow.
Yeah, like, she did, around this time, she had multiple guy friends, and they were all fanboys of Blaze, but he was the one that really stuck out the most, I guess, because of how she was with him.
That explains quite a bit, because I know she's had some community posts back when her channel was still active, which, that's another question I want to ask later on. I just remembered that. Yeah, I remember, like, a lot of community posts kind of shaming Blaze. Even though she said she didn't hate him, it's very clear that there's some sort of, like, there's some sort of hostility towards Blaze. And
yeah, I think that mostly is the reason why, like, besides the whole pairing between her and Silver, you know. Because I think she mentioned it in her, like, old videos that she had, like, 5 guy friends who happened to be fanboys of her. And she kind of, like, she would say, like, they all worshipped her like a goddess, and that she was perfect and everything.
That's a little bit of a, that's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song plays here type moment.
Yeah, like, with the certain guy, maybe I could, but the other ones I came across, like, they didn't really seem like that to me. Like, they just seemed like they liked her, and that was it.
Well, the thing is, I haven't talked to him for a long time, so it's hard. It's not really fair, or, you know, it was very smart to automatically just put that, if that's true, to believe he's the reason of my behavior or whatever. This is so private, and they have no right to dig into the business, not even Amy. And she's the one who knew not everything, but she knows a lot about it that she has been saying that aren't true, Yeah. So I'm just like, that's not your business.
Yeah, they kind of kept this person anonymous, by the way, so they don't know who. They kind of just made this person hidden.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean that you're giving that narrative as an explanation to my behavior, and it's like, that's not cool, because this is a very private thing that Amy shouldn't have said at all, because it doesn't. Instead of answering, it just gives more questions. So I'm just like, no, that is not cool. That is none of your business to dig in and trying to make your own theories about it.
I believe Dumbsville was the one who wanted to ask this because it was a personal question to him.
That's fine, but at the same time, Amy could have chosen to not answer.
Okay. All right.
I understand that Dumbsville wants to ask Amy that question. However, it is a kind of a private one that it shouldn't be in the public. The least he could have done is ask this privately, and Amy can answer more detail privately. But if it's only going to be like this, then it's like, then I put more accountability on Amy, but even Dumbs, but mostly Amy, because she answered that vaguely and just gives more people theories and questions in their heads rather than answers. This is so vague. I can't even confirm if it's true or not. I mean, it does sound familiar, but at the same time, I can't confirm it because she's not being detailed, to the point that I can even confirm if it's true or not. 5 guy friends who worship me, it's like, that's kind of excessive. No, that's kind of, not kind of, it is excessive, but at the same time, there might be some truth into it, just not the way she puts it. The only thing I could think of that, I wouldn't say worship me like a goddess, because it's very stupid statement, but like, obsession, yeah, definitely, but not like that, and especially not 5 guys. I mean, even if that's true, what does that have to do with the question? I don't see how this is related to the question at hand. It was about having an ex-boyfriend, not about who liked me. It's not the same thing.
Well, I guess we'll never know. This is just something that just popped out of nowhere, but it's a quite of a next topic or segue. But other than that, I guess that's really all of the questions that I wrote down. That's completely everything. So my question to you now is that, what are your thoughts on Amy-chan, your old friend that you known more than, or almost known for 10 years, actually?
Oh boy, I know whatever I'm gonna say is not gonna sound good, so I'm gonna try to sound not as, mean or manipulative or brutal or whatever. I don't hate Amy-chan. That is the first thing I'm gonna say. However, I can't say I have the same opinion about her as I did back in the day we were friends. What Amy did to me, in my perspective, is unforgivable, undescribable of what she made me feel, and it disgusts me to no end of the things she has done behind the scenes and especially in public. She's not someone I would talk to again. And I know it sounds really bad, but if you want my honest thoughts, this is my opinion, Amy. But keep this in mind, I don't want anything bad happen to her. I have nothing against her in a way that I want her to, things will go back to her. In reality, I want things to go better for her, honestly. I want things to go well for her.
Okay. So in the end, you chose to, wish upon Amy that to improve and hope for the best for her future, right? And you don't hate Amy, of course, because, for having a strong relationship for merely 9 years, it kind of seems like you can't really hate a person like that. That depends on what they did, but it is not enough for you to hate her, even though that you're not friends with her anymore.
it's the problem isn't that we're not friends that would make me feel this way. It's like you say, it's the thing she has done that I find it very unforgivable and just honestly disgusting. But I know it might sound weird to the public eye, but when people do stuff like this, they may seem like, pointing the finger at you, acting like you're the problem, then they're actually just projecting to you. I'm not sure if I said it right, but you know what I mean. When you're saying something like that, not putting the blame, but saying something bad about someone, they usually have problems with themselves. And not put it in details. Let's just say that is my opinion on Amy. So in that sense, I can't have this rage on her in that kind of way, because I kind of have sympathy for her. If I'm gonna be honest, I have sympathy for her, but that's another story. So basically, even though I cannot forgive or accept what she's done to me, at the same time, it was for the best. It was for the best. She has shown her true colors, and both she and I can move on with our own lives and live our lives the way we want to.
Okay. So I guess now that being said, I guess we can just end this off with with a closing book. That now that what's said is being said, and now that the story has been told, now that everybody has two sides of the story now, so they can form a proper conclusion into this entire dilemma. Of course, while I like to give my narrative on Amy-chan, but at this point, I guess what is said has already been said. And of course, if people, decide to come to me and, ask about all of this, then they're welcome to. But I do appreciate if people are being civil about it. So I guess now that this is the end, what are your final thoughts, Ruth?
About this whole thing?
Yeah.
Well, I can say that it feels great. I mean, I have been feeling good before, but this is like a bonus thing to have I wouldn't say a proper closure, because I already got it a long time ago, but it's more that I finally gave myself what I deserve, in a way. Not like, how to put this, what I mean by deserve, I mean like I also gave myself the right to speak, even though it's not supposed to affect positively, or it's something I need personally in that way. It's a right I'm giving myself, and it feels great. Definitely, it's a bonus feeling.
Well, I'm glad that everything worked out for you. And of course, even though that, the process of this entire dilemma, that all started because of one person, and apparently that, down the line, things pretty much didn't escalate it to the greater, it only escalated to the worse. But I guess the only thing what I'm trying to say is that maybe things would have been turned around differently if you actually did had good help. Good assistance, maybe some guidance into your videos. But what is said has already been said. What is done is done. What happened. So at the end of the day, we can all just leave this behind us, and hopefully this will be the last thing we'll be hearing about this dilemma.